Anna here from Wild Roses, and today I want to tell you about one of the techniques that medieval composers used to create instrumental dance pieces. Now, one of the things as music composers we have to balance is how to make a piece cohesive, so it's satisfying for the listener to follow and it all sounds like one piece, and that involves repetition of one kind or another. Like in dance music, for example, a repeated rhythm, such as da 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 da, can give us an enjoyable sense of predictability and a useful framework for the dancers to move to. But too much repetition can become boring, so we need to balance our cohesive elements with elements that change and give interest to us, the listeners. I wanted to approach writing an instrumental dance in the same way that composers of the 13th and 14th centuries did. So I looked at a few dances to see how they're written, and we even have a 13th century music analyst from Normandy called Johannes de Grocaio, excuse my pronunciation, in Latin, or John of Grucci, to help us understand. Now, John refers to many dances, but a couple of them are called estampies and ductias, and he tells us that they're made of puncta, which basically means sections, and that within each section the material is played twice, but with different endings, one open and one closed. So let me play you something to explain that better. Here's a French estampie called la kuth estampie royale. So, just to go over what he said, so we've got a melody, our little opening melody goes like this. And then this is played twice, but first with an open ending, which goes like this. And by opening, I mean it just, it sounds open. It hasn't got that sort of full stop quality to it. So we go back to play the first melody. And this time with a closed ending. So you can see there's quite a bit of fun and a bit of repetition sort of built into the form, which is what we're learning about. So we're going to move on now. We have been sufficiently delighted by this repetition and we don't want to get bored, so it's time for something new. So we take a new melody, but this time we're going to hear it first with the open ending from the one before. And closed ending. And so on and so on. So he's going to take a new melody, same open ending, back to the melody, and then closed ending. Now, the estampie I'm showing you is a great example of the form in a succinct and neat way. They can be much longer and more complex, but the bones of them are pretty alike. So I wanted to write my own estampie using this method as a partner dance to one of my favourite medieval songs, kuth and sorghe, which is an English contrafactum from the early 13th century. And it's a song in which the singer is wrongfully imprisoned. It translates as "formerly I knew not sorrow," so I thought it needed a bit more cheerful instrumental to go with it. Here's a manuscript, or copy of manuscript of the song. It takes a bit of interpreting, but I just wanted to show you because it's beautiful. And I've made a transcription of it here. Now, you don't need to be able to read music to see that this is in 5 sections. If I show you the whole thing, there are 10 lines in front of you, and we've got a repetition of each of the lines. So what I've done is I've added a couple of things. You can see this song, it doesn't have a beat to it. So I've added a 1, 2, 3 kind of beat for my dance. And it also, all of the notes are written as the same length. I've put them as quavers here, but they don't have a duration. So I've also added rhythm to it, but the pitches, the melody line I've taken here. So the first thing I looked for was my open ending, which I found here, which sounds a bit sort of, sounds a bit like a question mark, and then I found my full stop kind of ending over here. And then I took a section of melody from each of these, and then it's really just like a collage. So I put it together again with 5 puncta, because there are 5 puncta in the song, or 5 verses in the song. So this is how I went about making an estampie, in the same way as composers did 700 years ago, and I expect you want to listen to it. So if you do a little search for Wilde Rose's kuth estampie somewhere on the ether, I'm sure it will come up, and the song Wilde Rose's kuth sorghe, and you'll be able to see how those went together. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and well, we'd love to hear from you if you've got favourite medieval dances, or if you've written any of your own. Thank you, bye!